For this video, we're going to focus on the rational zero theorem for polynomials and finding the possible rational zeros of any polynomial function and actually going through and solving some polynomial equations. What we tend to use for polynomial equations is called the rational zero theorem here, or finding the possible rational zeros of a polynomial. So what that means here is if we're given a polynomial here, we can figure out how many possible rational zeros it has, or at least find a grouping of numbers to pull from that are possibilities of rational solutions for that given equation. If we are looking to solve this polynomial, right, and we can't factor it and we can't use most of the other techniques in our arsenal, what we can do is we can create a list of possibilities of solution for this. That's our list of possible rational zeros. And we're going to do that by this P over Q method, where P, our numerator, is all the factors of the constant term. So that's going to be a 12 here for us. So 12 is going to be our numerator. Our denominator is going to be, so P over Q, right, where Q is the factors of the leading coefficient. So if you go to the front of your equation here, our leading coefficient is an 8. For this particular process, we do not care about the signs of these particular numbers. But what we do need to do is we need to find the factors of these. So all factors of 12. What is everything that multiplies to get a 12? Well, 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. And 3 times 4 will give us a 12. Those are all possible factors of 12. Do the same thing for 8. 1 times 8. 2 times 4. Those are all the possibilities of getting 8. Now, what we do, the way that we create our list of possible rational zeros, is think of it as taking every number in the numerator and putting it over every number in the denominator. So like, for example, I'm going to start with the 1. 1 over 1 is 1. 1 over 2, 1 half. 1 over 4, and then 1 over 8. Do the same thing for 2. 2 over 1 is a 2. 2 over 2. All right, so we do 2 over 1, 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is just a 1, right? And we already have that on our list, so we don't need to list it. 2 over 4 is a 1 half. We already have that. 2 over 8 is a 1/4. We already have that. Move on to 3. 3 over 1 is a 3. 3 over 2 is 3 halves. 3 over 4 is 3/4. 3 over 8 is just 3/8. Moving on to 4. 4 over 1 is a 4. 4 over 2 is a 2. We already have that. 4 over 4 is a 1. We already have that. And 4 over 8 is a half. We already have that. 6 over 1, I'm going to bring my list here down to the bottom. So 6 over 1 is a 6. 6 over 2 is a 3. We already have that. 6 over 4 is a 3 halves. And 6 over 8 is 3/4. Doing 12. 12 over 1 is 12. 12 over 2 is a 6. 12 over 4 is a 3, and 12 over 8 is a 3 halves. We already have that. So this is our list. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just add the 6 and 12 there, just so I have it all in one full line. The only thing that we need to do to complete our list is we do need to put a plus or minus in front of every single one of these. We do need to take into consideration the positive and negative variations of these numbers. But this entire list here, I know it's quite a list, are all the possibilities of rational zeros for this particular equation. Now, that's how we're working on for this particular example. In the next few examples, we're going to work on finding that list and actually solving using that list. So let's do this one more time here with example B. Example B, again, so you want to think P over Q process, where P is your last number, your constant, which is a 2. Q is your first number, your leading coefficient, so it's a 15. So I always just think last over first. So all the different factors of 2, the only way to get a 2 is a 1 times a 2. The only way to get 15 is 1 times 15, and 3 times a 5. Let's start with that 1. 1 over 1 is a 1. 1 over 3 is the third. 1 over 5 is 1/5. 1 over 15 is 1/15. 2 over 1 is a 2. 2 over 3 is 2/3. Then we have 2/5, then 2/15. Put a plus or minus in front each one of those, And this is our list of all possible rational zeros for this particular equation. All right, so let's go ahead and try and solve the first of these polynomial equations. So we're given this equation here. So we are going to solve this. We're going to start with our P over Q process here. So P is going to be a 6. Q is going to be a 1 here in front. If your denominator is a 1, our list is really just focused on the numerator. The only way to get a 6 is a 1 times a 6 and a 2 times a 3. These would all be over 1, 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 6 over 1. So it's just plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, or plus or minus 6. So that means that we have 8 options, 8 possibilities of these numbers here that could be a possible solution to this equation here. Now, what you do once you have your list is you're going to kind of just start choosing numbers and do synthetic division here. So let's see, we need to pull from here. I'm going to start with a -1 just to see if that works there. I kind of just tend to alternate between numbers until I find the correct one. So I'm going to try a -1. I'm going to put that in the box to the left. Drop down the coefficients of your polynomial here. So 1 for x cubed, 2 for x squared, -5 for x, and -6 for your constant. If you need a little bit more refresher on synthetic division, I would make sure to go back and maybe watch one of the videos over that real quickly here. Otherwise, drop down your 1, multiply and add. 1 times -1 is -1. When we add, we get 1. When we multiply, we get -1. When we add, we get -6. When we multiply, -6 times -1 is a 6. And when we add, we do get a 0 here. That means -1 is a solution to this polynomial equation. So x does equal a -1 here. Our remaining numbers here, again, represent our quadratic equation that we get from this. That is a 1x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Let's see if this thing factors. So let's see, x times x is x squared. 2 times 3 is a 6. Let's put that plus on the 3 and the minus on the 2, and it looks like this does work out. So when we split our factors, set them equal to 0, and solve, we do get that x is a 2, and then x is a -3 there. So our 3 solutions here, -1, 2, and then a -3. Let's do that all over again. So here with this next example, P over Q, last number is a 3, first number is a 1. So that's going to be a short list here. The only way to get a 3 is a 1 times a 3. And 1 is our denominator, so the only way to get a 1 is a 1 times a 1. So this is just plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3 here. So only 4 options to choose from with that particular one. So let's see, I'm going to just start with a 1 and just see what happens here. If I start with a 1, let's see, my coefficients are 1 for x cubed, 7 for x squared, 11 for x, and then a -3. Drop down that 1. 1 times 1 is a 1. Again, you put that in the column to the left, to the right, and you add. 8 times 1 is an 8. When I add this, I get a 19, and I can see here this isn't going to work out. 19 times 1 is a 19. When I add there, I get a 16. Keep in mind we are looking for a 0 in that position. So let's try a different number. I don't know, let's get to -3. So let's go ahead and bring the same numbers down, a 1, a 7, 11, and -3. And let's do synthetic division again. Dropping down the 1, 1 times -3 is a -3. Adding that column there gives us a 4. Multiplying gives us a -12. When we add, we get a -1. When we multiply, we get a 3. And we add, we do get a 0. That means x does equal -3 as our first solution. Dropping down that quadratic equation, this is a 1x squared plus 4x minus a 1 is equal to 0. Now, this is not going to factor, right? There's no factors 1 times 1 that are going to give us a 4 here. That means we are going to use the quadratic formula here. So let's go ahead and plug in. So we have -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Dropping down that negative 4, plus or minus. 4 squared here is a 16. Negative 4 times 1 is a negative 4, times a negative 1 makes it a positive 4. Over 2 times 1, which is a 2. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up here. So we have a negative 4, plus or minus. Well, 16 plus 4 is a 20 over that 2. If we take the square root of 20, the square root of 20 is 4 times 5. The square root of 4 is a 2. Drop down that square root of 5. So that means that square root of 20 is 2 square roots of 5. Reduce this fraction. So reduce it by a power of 2. Divide everything by 2. Here in front, negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. Move over your plus or minus. 2 over 2 is a 1, square root of 5. Over 2 over 2, which is a 1, which we do not need to put it over 1. So we have negative 2 plus the square root of 5, negative 2 minus the square root of 5, and don't forget that x is negative 3. So let's go ahead and solve our last example here. We're going to be looking at solving a 4th degree polynomial function, which means we're going to need to find 2 solutions using synthetic division before we can solve the remaining quadratic equation. Again, keep in mind, each time we find a solution using a synthetic division, it drops the power by 1, right? And the goal is to get it down to a quadratic so that we can then either factor or use the quadratic formula in order to solve that remaining quadratic equation, or one of the many techniques that we do have for quadratic equations. So let's go ahead and get started here. So P over Q, and P is our last number, Q is our first number, so that's going to be a 1. Again, if your denominator is a 1, we're just looking at our numerator. All the factors of 8 are 1 times 8, 2 times a 4. Plus or minus for each one of those. So we have 8 possibilities. Let's start with the 1 and see what happens. Dropping down our coefficients from our polynomial. 1 for x fourth, negative 2 for x cubed, 1 for x squared, 12 for x, and 8 for our constant. Drop down the first number, multiply and add. 1 times 1 is 1. When we add, we get negative 1. When we multiply, we get negative 1. When we add, we get 0. When we multiply, we get 0. When we add, we get 12. When we multiply, we get 12. And when we add there, we get a 20, which is not what we want. We need a 0 in that remainder column. Let's try negative 1. If we try negative 1, dropping down the same numbers. So 1, negative 2, 1, 12, and an 8. Let's do this again. 1 times negative 1 is a negative 1. When we add negative 3, when we multiply 3, when we add, we get 4. Multiply, we get negative 4. When we add, we get 8. If we multiply there, we get a negative 8. And when we add that last column, we get a 0. That is exactly what we're looking for. We now know one of our solutions, x does equal a negative 1. Now, rules of this here. Once you find a solution using synthetic division, you take your remaining equation here, and you need to do P over Q process all over again, right? Last number, we would have to do P over Q is equal to the last number, 8, over the first number, 1, which just happens to be the same list that we had here at the beginning. That is not always going to happen. It is just happening with this particular one. So when we try and find our second solution here using synthetic division, then we're also pulling from this list all over again. All right, so just because we found a negative 1 here does not mean that negative 1 is thrown out. We have a brand new list that we go all over again. So let's see. Let's go with a 2. Dropping down our numbers here, a 1, negative 3, a 4, and an 8. And let's see what happens. All right, we're using our numbers here from before. Dropping down the 1. 1 times 2 is 2. When we add negative 1, when we multiply negative 2, when we add a 2, when we multiply a 4, we get a 12 there. So 2 is not a solution here. Let's try negative 1 again. We try negative 1 again. Let's drop down our numbers. 1, negative 3, 4, and an 8. Let's go again. Dropping down 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. When we add negative 4, when we multiply positive 4, when we add 8, when we multiply negative 8, and when we add, we do get a 0. So we got another negative 1 as a solution here. which means our remaining numbers here represent our quadratic equation. This is 1x squared minus 4x plus 8 is equal to 0. Factors of 8 that add or subtract to get 4 are not going to work for us here. There's no way we're going to get a 4 out of a 1 times an 8 or a 2 times a 4. So we are going to throw this into the quadratic equation. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Dropping down that negative 4 plus or minus the square root of, again, square, multiply. 4 times 4 is 16, and we multiply here, we get a negative 32 over 2, giving us negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 when we subtract here over 2. Square root of negative 16, right? Bring over negative 4 plus or minus. The square root of negative 16 is a 4i. Again, you take square root of negative 16 and split it up between 16 and a negative 1. Square root of 16 is a 4. Square root of negative 1 is an I. And that's all going to go over 2. Reduce your fraction. Divide everything by a 2. And our third and fourth solutions for this equation, well, we got negative 1 with the multiplicity of 2. And then over here, negative 2 plus or minus 2i over 1. So this is our third and fourth solution here.